Okay guys, so let's get started. So I did partially do one eye over here. I didn't do my bottom lash line or my falsies or my mascara or anything. I just put the eyeshadow and the wing on. I already put the tape on this eye and I primed with MAC Painterly Paint Pot. So now we're going to get started with the eyeshadows. I will be using all Makeup Geek eyeshadow products just because I am showing the new Makeup Geek foiled eyeshadows, the new 10 extension pack. I figured why not go ahead and go in with Makeup Geek eyeshadows as well, like the normal eyeshadows. Since they are very affordable, they're only $6 a pan for the normal eyeshadows, and they're just as great as matte quality. They're like the best quality ever for a drugstore price. The foiled eyeshadows are $10 a piece, or you can get them in a pack or like a package, and they're I believe $89 for all 10. So normally they're $10 a piece, so you're getting $10 off by buying them in an entire package. If you don't have any of the foiled eyeshadows, you could also buy all 20 of the foiled eyeshadows in a package, and I believe, if I remember right, that's $175, and you're also getting a discount there as well by buying them all together. So I'm going to start off with my transition shade, and this will be Makeup Geek Peach Smoothie and Makeup Geek Crème Brule. These are, I'm going to mix them together with a Sigma E40 and just make that my transition shade. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with the M443. So this is a Morphe M443. This is very similar to a Sigma E25. I did have this brush in my favorites, my April favorites, which was my last video, because it's so affordable and it blends just as nicely. So then I'm going to be going in with Makeup Geek Frape. I'm sorry. Apparently the right way to say it is Frape. But yes, I've almost hit pan on this one just because I use it so much. But I'm going to be putting that on my brush, tapping off the excess, and then I almost went to my other eye. I'm just going to be dusting this in my entire crease. I feel like I can't really talk today. I'm like stuttering. I'm bringing it up pretty high towards the brow bone because I want that warmth of those browns to show. Okay, so then this was also my April favorites. This is like a tapered blending brush from Morphe. This is the Morphe M441. And I'm going to be taking Makeup Geek Coco Bear. I use this quite often. It's a very warm brown. It's one of my favorite browns that I have just because it's so warm. And I'm going to be putting this only on the outer part. I'm not going to go all the way in with this. And I'm also going to be bringing this up pretty high. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with a NYX Jumbo eyeshadow pencil in the shade Milk. This is just a white and it's creamy. I'm doing this and I'm putting this all over my lid because it will help the pigment of the foiled eyeshadows pop even more. It'll just make it much more like boom, shiny, here I am. You of course can skip this if you want, but I think that this makes it just look a lot more pigmented. A lot of times with like a purple, you can put a black base underneath and that will make the purple stand out more, but for something like this, you want to use a white base. So I'm going to put this all over my lid, and you can be really messy with it because I'm going to blend it out with my finger later. Okay, so now I'm just going to take my finger and just blend all of that out. Okay, so now I'm going to go in with Makeup Geek Fantasy. It's this absolutely beautiful, springy, pastel-y, light green. It's beautiful. Of course, I will be doing swatches of the 10 new foiled eyeshadows at the end, so stay tuned for that. So what I'm going to do is you can either use a synthetic brush, like a flat shader, flat oval brush like this. This is a Morphe G20. Or another example would be, like I've used this before, the Urban Decay eyeshadow brush that comes in like the Naked palette. So you want a very stiff synthetic brush to do this if you're going to use a brush. If you're going to use a brush, you want to scrape it along. I'm going to use the brush at the end, but to get the most pigmentation, I'm going to use my finger to pat this green color onto my lid. So I'm just going to rub my finger into this and just pat it. Do you see like the color payoff there? It like comes off immediately. Okay, then I'm going to take that Morphe brush I just showed you, that synthetic oval brush, and I'm just going to clean it up just so that it doesn't look all rough. And don't worry, I will be blending this out in my crease later just so that it doesn't look harsh. But what we're going to do now is we're going to go in with that beautiful pastel-y purple shade they just came out with called Daydreamer. It's just like the same tone. It's like that pastel-y springy color, like the green, but it's in purple. So it's that really light pastel-y color. And what I'm going to do is, I'm not going to use my finger for this because I want to put it on that outer portion like I did here. I'm going to use a Makeupgeek Outer V brush. I'm using a small domed brush that's very stiff. You want something that's very stiff like this so that you can get that high pigmentation. You can use any small domed blending brush that's very stiff. And I'm just going to rub it into the pan and scrape off some product. And I'm just going to be doing my whole outer V area with this purple. And I'm going to bring it in slightly on the outer part of my lid. And it is a little difficult to put it over top of the green, so what I'll do is I will put it on my finger and put it over top of that green. But to blend it out in the outer part, you want to use a brush. See, I'm like stuttering today. Okay, so like I said, what I'm going to do now is put it on my finger and just put it on the outer part of my lid. Okay, so now I'm going to go back in with Makeupgeek Frape and that Morphe M443 and just blend out my crease past the purple. I don't want to go into the purple. I'm just going to blend it out so that green doesn't look harsh. Then taking a Sigma E44, I'm going to use Makeupgeek Shimma Shimma to highlight my brow bone. Okay, now I'm going to take the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner. This was also my favorites, so you can tell I'm still loving these products. This is Trooper, and it's this really thin-tipped eyeliner, liquid eyeliner. It's absolutely amazing. I'm just going to draw a small wing, and I'm going to follow the line of my tape. Okay, so now moving on to the face before we move on to the lower lash line and my false lashes. I'm going to start by priming with the Makeup Forever Base Mattifying Primer. This is their Step 1 primer. This was also in my favorites. But I just love this because it's really helping my skin, since it's so oily, to stay matte throughout the day. Then I'm going to go in with Benefit the POREprofessional as usual. I think I've used this in every single tutorial. It just really helps blur out my pores in the inner part of my cheeks so that they don't look as big. Then I'm going to take the Nars Instant Line and Pore Perfector. It's their Pro Prime. I'm just going to use this to fill in my laugh lines and the dimple on my top lip. Okay, and then moving on to foundation, this is the L'Oreal Infallible Pro Matte Foundation in the shade 102. Also in my favorites. So I'm going to take a Morphe G6 flat top blending brush. This is very similar to the Sigma Kabuki, the F80, except it's just not as stiff and dense. I know, I do it weird. I like put it on my face and then blend it out, but I do it differently with every foundation. I don't know why. So now I'm going to take a Sigma F66 and the MAC Pro Longwear Concealer in the shade NW20. This is my lighter concealer because I am more pale right now. I've been letting my fake tan exfoliate off because I want to get as much of it off so I can tan again, because I am going to Vegas soon, so I want to be tan for that, so I want to make sure I'm nice and exfoliated. And I'm just putting this in a triangle underneath my eyes to highlight. I'm going up towards my temples so that my cheekbones can appear more lifted. Okay, so then taking a damp beauty blender, I'm just going to blend all of that out. Okay, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the Nars Radiant Creamy Concealer in the shade Light 2 Vanilla and just cover up any extra dark spots from old scars that I have. And I would just blend them out with a Sigma F65, which is a concealer brush. Okay, and then to set that under eye area, I'm going to use the Anastasia Contour Kit and use that banana shade powder with a Sigma F25 tapered face. You really want to dab under here to press it into your skin so that it sets better. You don't want to really sweep it so that it's not just laying there. You want to press it into your skin. Okay, and then to set my T-zone, I'll be using the Rimmel Stay Matte Powder Foundation, also in my favorites. And I'm going to be using that in my T-zone and my forehead. Then to set my actual foundation, I'll be using the Laura Mercier Loose Translucent Setting Powder. Again, also in my favorites. You can tell I really love this stuff because I actually use it. But I'll be using a large powder brush from Sigma. It's the F20. And I'll just be dusting this lightly all over my face to set my foundation. This is definitely a must when it's warmer because you'll be sweaty and it's moisture. Because you'll be sweaty and there's more moisture outside, so your foundation is more likely to move around. Okay, and then to contour, I'll be using the Hoola Benefit Bronzer. I'm using this today because it's a lighter brown and I'm more pale right now because I'm letting all my fake tan exfoliate off and I don't want to use a darker color. So taking a Sigma small contour brush, I'll be doing my temples, my forehead, and underneath my cheekbones. Okay, and then I'm going to mix two Makeupgeek blushes together. I'll be mixing this one and this one. This is, I forget what these are, hold on. This is Bliss, which is the more orange one, and the more bronzy looking one is Romance. And I'll be using a Coastal Scents angled blush brush. This is the BRB S25, and I'll just be stippling this onto my cheeks. I'm going to start off with the orange shade one. Then I'm going to go in with the bronzed one. Then to highlight, I'll be using the Mary-Loumanizer. I've been loving this. Also in my favorites, I know, I'm sorry, but I love these products. This is the Sigma Tapered Highlighter F35, and I'll be lightly putting this on top of my cheekbones. It's very pigmented. Now I'll put a little bit on my Cupid's bow and a little bit down my nose. Okay, now I'm going to do my brows, but I'm going to skip over this part. I'm using the Anastasia Brow Wiz in the shade Dark Brown and the Benefit Speed Brow to set them, and it's tinted so it helps fill them in a little bit. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to my bottom lash line. I'm going to be smoking that out. I'm going to be going in with that Makeupgeek Frape and the Makeupgeek Coco Bear. I'm going to be using a Sigma Flat Definer, which is the E15. And I'm going to start off with Frape and buff this into my lower lash line. And I'm bringing it quite low. Then going in with Coco Bear, I'll be putting that pretty low, but slightly above where I put the Frape. Okay, then to blend that all out, I'll be using a Sigma pencil brush. This is the E30. It's clean, so you don't have to put any product on it. Okay, then to add a little bit of dimension, I'll be taking a matte black shadow, so you can use any one. This is Makeupgeek Corrupt. I'm just going to be putting it on the outer part of my lash line. I'm going to be dabbing it in. I'm not going to buff it. Just gives it a little bit of dimension. Okay, then filling in my waterline, I'll be using a black eyeliner that's waterproof. This is the Ardency in Modster eyeliner. Okay, and then curling your lashes and putting on some mascara. I'm going to be putting on false lashes, so you don't have to do this. You can just put on some mascara. I'm going in with the new Benefit Roller Lash Mascara. I know that you supposedly don't have to roll or curl your lashes with this mascara, but I like to anyway. And I'm just going to roll up. Okay, and then for my lashes today, I wanted to go with something that's really natural. These are the Ardell Wispies. They look like real lashes. They don't look overdone and thick like mink lashes sometimes do. These are relatively cheap. I think they were like $3.50 from Ulta. This is my second use out of these lashes actually. I would say that if you really want a natural lash with an extremely thin band, like this is an extremely thin band, so you can't really see it, you can't even tell that you have them on, I would go with these ones. And I'm going to be using the House of Lashes False Lash Glue just because it's the best false lash glue ever. If you want to see how to apply false lashes, I did a tutorial on that not too long ago. It's my how to apply false lashes tutorial, so you can look that up if you want an in-depth description of how to put on lashes and the aftercare of that. See how natural and wispy they look? I mean, this eye has no false lash, and this does. It doesn't look overdone. It looks very natural, very wispy. Okay, then to pop a little bit of color in my inner corner, I'm going to be, oh sorry, my phone. I'm going to be using the new Foiled Eyeshadow High Wire. And I'm just taking a synthetic brush and popping this right in the corner. Okay, and then for lips, I wanted to go in with a nude, so I'm going in with Anastasia Beverly Hills Liquid Lipstick in the shade Lovely. Okay, and then to darken it up just a little bit because it's a little bright for me, I'm going in with a NYX Butter Gloss in the shade Praline, number BLG16. It's like a brownish gloss, so I'm going to put this over top just to darken it a little bit. So that muted it just a little bit. I don't normally like lip glosses because I hate the sticky feeling, and I know some people say some lip glosses don't have that. I just got these NYX Butter Glosses, and they're okay. They're a little bit sticky for my liking, but I'm just trying them out because I just got them at Ulta a couple days ago. So I'm trying them out. Okay, so that is the finished look, you guys. It's a very springy look. I wanted to use the new Makeupgeek Foiled Eyeshadows because I'm sure that a lot of people got them and they're brand new and they're really pretty. They're perfect for spring because a lot of them are pastels. So I wanted to use them today. I hope you enjoyed this look. So now I'm going to swatch all of the foiled eyeshadows and I'm going to be putting them all along my arms so you can see what each color looks like. Okay, so I know this is probably going to be a really long video, but I wanted to swatch them all so you could see how beautiful they all are, because obviously I can't wear all 10 on my eye. So I have all 20. The first 10 are the ones that were the first foiled eyeshadows, and then the following 10 are the new expansion packs of the foiled eyeshadows. So this is what they look like all together in a palette, all 20 foiled eyeshadows. They're all beautiful. I would say that the first 10 from the original foiled eyeshadows are more like neutrals, browns, and then there's a little bit of pop of color in there with the blue and the purple, and then the remaining 10 from the new expansion pack, they're more of like the springy pastels, which was perfect why she launched them this time of year, because it is spring now and it's getting warmer and it's coming into summer now, so it was perfect that she lined it up to be released that way. So the first one here, I'm going to be starting off with the more nudes and going down the line to the more colorful ones. This first one here is called Starry Eyed, and it's just a beautiful like champagne-y color. There it is right there. This next one is called Whimsical, and it's like a it's kind of like a ballerina pink color. It's like a light pastel-y pink with a little bit of champagne in it. There's Ballerina, second one down. This next one is called High Wire. This is a beautiful, like pure silver. This is what I used to put in the inner corners of my eyes today. This is like the most pigmented silver eyeshadow I've ever seen. Third one down is High Wire. This next one is called Charmed. This is also a greenish color. This is just a little bit more darker. It's not like that pastel-y color like the Fantasy one I used on my lid today. More of like an olive toned green. And there's Charmed, fourth one down. Okay, the next one is Fantasy, which is what I put on my lid today. It's that pastel-y, springy, light green. Okay, fifth one down. I swatched it a little close to Charmed by accident. So you can see Charmed is the darker olive green and Fantasy is this lighter, springy, pastel-y green here. So I'm going to switch over to the other arm now. This is called Pegasus. I can't wait to use this. This is like an aqua teal blue. Another pastel-y springy color. This is just absolutely gorgeous. I love this one. I haven't used it yet, but I'm really excited to use it. So that is Pegasus. Look at that pigment. Oh my god. It's just the perfect aqua teal. This next one is called Fortune Teller, which is like a pure gold. I can't wait to use this one either. This one has amazing payoff in pigment. It's just like the perfect gold color. I almost used this today instead for a different look, but the springy colors won. There is Fortune Teller. Oh my god, just look at that. It's like a pure gold. This next one is called Untamed. This is like a fiery, darker yellow with like an orange undertone. There is Untamed. It's more of like an orange with a yellow undertone. I accidentally reversed them when I said it, but it's absolutely beautiful. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Flamethrower. Like I feel like Flamethrower is like the undertone of this one. This next one is called Daydreamer. This is the one that I use in the outer part of my eye today. It's like that light pastel-y, purple, springy type of color. And the last foiled eyeshadow, which I can't wait to use either, is called Masquerade, and this is like a purpley, it's like a warmer purple. The other one, Caitlin Rose, that was in the original 10 foiled eyeshadows, is like a darker purple. This one's a lot more warmer. And there is Masquerade. It's a beautiful, beautiful purple. And again, this is with no primers at all. This is just straight up pigment. They're beautiful colors. They're affordable. I would say definitely get these. I was so impressed with the first 10 that of course I was going to get the next 10. I will be doing more looks with these foiled eyeshadows for sure. I just gotta figure out what I want to do. There's so many different options you can do with these. My next tutorial will probably actually be the look that I was wearing in my April favorites video. I did get a request to do that makeup tutorial look, so I'll probably be doing that next. And then after that, I probably will be playing with the foiled eyeshadows. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you liked this video. I'm sorry if it was a little bit long, but I wanted to do a new look with the new foiled eyeshadows, and I wanted to swatch them as well so you can see what they all look like. So please give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and you can click the subscribe button at the end of my video. Thanks, guys. Bye. Tanning. It holds up very well. I'm very impressed with how long it holds up. I've said in a previous video that if a foundation can hold up for like a good 8-hour workday, then it's like good in my book, which this does.